All right, we're live. We're live. Everybody, welcome back to KnucklesF&F podcast, where we discuss everything going on in pop culture, whether that's video games, comics, anime, all that good stuff. And finally, we got a full house here. Every week it was like three people. It was like somebody was gone, somebody was gone, somebody was gone. But finally, we got four. The full cast is all here, and well, maybe three and a half because Rachel, you can barely see right now. Like literally, okay, literally, like you're looking like Jeffrey Dahmer in that fucking cover of Netflix right now.
Yo,
It's
oh
creeping me the
man,
fuck out right now. It's
My
like
bad.
Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix, which I have not seen that shit. I will not. I refuse to watch that. Though actually, if I see it, I'm not gonna watch that. But yeah, she's okay. A little bit of light right there. Okay, we got some light. We got some light. She's alive right now. She's alive right now. But yes, everybody, welcome back to our show. It's Friday. Marvel Fridays or Marvel Fridays, whatever we do. But it's Marvel Fridays though. So us are all together to talk about the latest episode of the show. But before we get into that, I was gonna say how's everyone's doing today. I guess start saying how you guys are doing today before we get into our main topic. So it's Friday. I'm doing good. I mean, I'm a little bit tired from work right now, but I'm doing good. I'm a little bit chilly out there, but so I have a Comic Con next weekend. So that's what's been going on my mind right there. So yeah,
yeah.
like I said, how you guys doing today?
Yeah, you're looking a little more alive tonight. So at least me and Rachel not gonna have, or everybody
Not
else
a
is gonna have
falling
to see
asleep.
your blank screen anymore.
Man, it was
Yeah,
like
you were struggling last week.
I was
You struggled last week,
struggling last week. Did we do this on Saturday or on a Friday last week?
I
Saturday.
think we did it
Saturday.
on we did it Saturday?
Oh no, Rachel, you weren't there. Last week was
Well, the last time you were falling asleep and I was on, it was a Saturday.
yeah. Well, then
Yeah,
then it happened again the next week.
yeah. He
It
was
happened
getting a
again
Yeah,
little
it
next
had
tired.
to
week.
be. Yeah, I think it was
Ten,
Friday.
maybe
It
yeah,
was
it's
Friday
Friday. Yeah,
last week.
10 man. Yeah, like just working a lot, man. And time
As
goes.
you young over here, that's not good. That's not good at all.
I'm telling you, I barely get any sleep. That's the problem with me. I'm barely getting any sleep. But the part of it's on me too. So but today it's better. I'm more wide awake. So so I don't want to fall asleep on you guys. I mean, the last time I fell asleep on my stream was like playing The Last of Us Part Two, the beginning part of the game. You literally see me falling asleep. Like it was pretty
Well, that's
embarrassing.
understandable for that game.
I knew you were gonna say something
Oh
about
man.
that. I know you're gonna say something about that. By the way, they had the trailer for they had a trailer for the HBO series about it or
I
a
don't know.
teaser. There's something
They
about
may
that.
have teaser.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it though. But yeah, besides me being wide awake, how y'all doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling great. It's another week down. It's a Friday, so it's kind of definitely like TGI Friday. Always look forward to the weekend. So
Last day of
um,
September.
just kind of yeah, that's true too. So I'm ready for spooky season though. So I got the Jemmy going. So
Nice.
we spooky seasoned out,
Mhm.
and yeah, man, I know they got a lot of couple of little drops that they had come out tonight or today. Um, I think they did Hocus Pocus 2 came out today,
Yes, it
Yeah,
did.
so kind of get
gotta
you
watch.
into a little bit of the
Gotta watch that.
mood season.
I'm gonna rewatch the first one just to be like, hey, what happened in the first one again?
I rewatched the first one every October. It just
Hmm.
reminds me when it came out when I was a kid. How like Halloween was the shit.
Yeah,
Not like how it is nowadays. It's so watered down and
it's so watered down.
it's not. Yeah, it's
I
not.
barely see any decorations.
Yeah,
You know where you gotta go to get that feeling back though? Go to Salem in Massachusetts.
Salem.
Yeah, Salem, Massachusetts during Halloween season. You
Mm-hmm.
get that feeling right back. I went a couple years ago. We had a good time. Um, Definitely brought back that nostalgic like Halloween feel. A lot of kids, a lot of spooky stuff around. People come around corners scaring you and stuff. It was good.
Nope,
I definitely need
I'm
to check
good
that
on
out.
that. I'm ready to fight somebody trying to scare me. Nope.
Yo, there
My
was a
my my
dude. There
my,
was a,
my ass gets scared easily. I'd be like, no, nope.
there was a guy, this like little chunky man dressed up as the devil, and I thought he was the devil. I wasn't messing with it. I was like, nah, like that's is like his makeup was too real, and he was like his size, and it looked like he looked like the clown from Spawn. It was crazy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How's
I want to.
everybody?
I'm doing all right. Chilling.
Same.
Great.
Hey,
I mean, I'm
I'm
trying to just finish up last minute Wanda glow hands if it comes out like crap or not, but we'll see.
Oh
Yo, I
yeah,
was about to be dedicated on my whole costume this year. I'm like, I was trying to get like full decked out. I wanted to go as Gambit this year.
Nice.
Because I was like figured like I already got like the beard thing going on. I was like, you know what, if I could just, connect it at the top, get the outfit. But I was like looking at some of like the cosplay stuff and it just like I was like, yeah, that looks whack. So I would like have to make it like myself.
Yeah, it's gonna be another year too of all the cosplayers hanging out outside because of the mask mandate.
Oh yeah, New York.
Well,
yeah,
New York dropped it. It's just New York Comic Con still requiring it. Like New York doesn't require it anymore.
so it's not New York. It's just a convention.
Oh, just a convention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know
I wonder if you
why.
could work something into a costume.
I don't know.
I have a
It's
feeling you're not going to be able to properly enforce it just because so many
you're
people
not.
are
You're
used
not.
to not having to wear it, and then you're now going to tell people that you're forced to wear it. Like everyone's just going to rip it off within 5 minutes of stepping in through
You
security.
can't.
Like,
You can't watch
Yeah.
everyone 24/7 with that thing. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. I think, but you at least have to show negative test result, though, right?
no,
Or
they're not doing
they're not doing that.
tests or vaccine mandates anymore. It's just the mask.
Maybe that's Anime NYC that I read. I don't know. Regardless, so it's dumb. But anyways,
I
so
don't
excited
know.
to go. So excited to see you. Listen, it's been a
Yo,
year since I've
when
seen you.
y'all go, y'all gotta make sure y'all go see the gargoyle exhibit. So I recently went to this spot up in near Montclair called Chubsy Wubsy. So big shout out to Chubsy Wubsy because I had like this. He has like all these
Montclair, New
collectibles.
Jersey.
It's in North Jersey.
Yes.
So I'll give you the information, but like it's like all these like old school collectibles, rare like figurines and things like that. So I went a while ago and I got like these gargoyle figurines. So I got Demona and Goliath. And remember we were talking about gargoyles last week. But
Yeah.
so I got the figurines and he was like, "Oh, you got to go to Comic-Con because they're making this big huge exhibit like out of like the whole clock tower and they're going to have like the figurines
Ooh.
like all around the clock tower." And I'm like, "Man, I'm not even going to be at Comic-Con, but I was like, that'd probably be sick." He's like, "Yeah, it's going to be crazy like the way
Uh,
it looks." So,
I'm trying to get more of my friends to go this time because I'm bringing my one friend. It's her first time going to New York Comic Con, and her friends are saying, "Yo, you're so good, you're going. Like they want to come join us next year." So I feel as though bringing in new people like each year is like freaking dope. Like that's what it's all about. Just meeting
oh
new
yeah.
people at these conventions.
Yeah. I fell in love with it last year. It was pretty lit.
Yes, one of my favorite
What's the
conventions.
date for New York Comic Con this year?
Uh,
Next
next
weekend.
weekend.
It's coming Friday, Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
next weekend.
It's always like the beginning part of the
Tickets probably
October.
gone. I ain't-
There's Thursday. There's Thursday still available.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always
our
the
passes
lame
even.
days that they's left, man.
Did they fully sell out this year? I felt like last time I checked, they still had tickets.
They still had tickets last time I checked. Hell, even the hotels are not even booked. Not all of them.
I feel like a lot of people just bailed this year
Mm-hmm.
For real,
because
yeah.
no one has money for that.
Well, the hotel prices are expensive. They went back to the original pricing, I guess.
So all tickets are basically still available because it's through the buy via that light thing that where people could sell back their tickets.
Yeah, well, they can sell back, but through the actual website, it's saying Sunday 98%, Friday, Saturday sold out, Thursday 73%.
I feel like Friday and Saturday is where they always have the best.
Yep.
Saturdays get
Okay.
sold out like that. Saturday's like the first one to be sold out fast.
Yeah.
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 Because nobody working. It's a weekend, so
hmm
you know.
That's all the important cosplays right there.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to request tickets. So only tickets that are available to request are Friday tickets at $100 each, or Sunday at $50.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nope.
They're ridiculous. Who the hell's going to pay that?
You never know. A
You
lot of
never
people.
know.
You never know.
It's
That's
just funny
Oh,
though because they're like, oh, it's like if you can't go, like we'll buy back your ticket, and we're gonna keep it fair prices. But then they like jack up the prices to resell it anyway. It's like you're no better than like freaking other other
Scalpers.
ticket sites.
Dragon Con does their tickets beautiful. I paid $165 for 5 days.
Oh, really?
5 days.
That's pretty great.
In New York Comic Con, I paid like $200 for like 3 days.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
changed
that's
that man life.
nothing.
I guess
Changed that man life.
even though it's New York, it's still like some bullshit.
He's like Dragon Con, nothing else.
I mean,
Dragon Con
totally
was
worth
the best time
it.
of my life.
Totally worth
Okay.
it. But D23 is $100 a day. Is
Oh, yeah.
$300 for a 3-day pass.
All right, I'll just
Oh,
end it this. I'll just end this. Dragon Con might be my favorite convention, but I'm more excited for New York Comic Con because I know more people are going to be at this convention than I did at Dragon Con. Dragon Con, I only knew a few people. Whereas New York, I know Rachel's going, my one friend's going, a couple of cosplayers that I know are going that I'm friends with. So it's like I know more people going because we live in the East Coast, obviously. So I know more people in the East Coast than I do down in the South. But Dragon Con, all I gotta say is New York Comic Con, y'all gotta sleep your games up. But we talked about that for a different day. So we have 11 minutes passing by right now. Let's look at the 20 like we did the last time. Talking about some. I don't think I'm not gonna say it was nonsense, but we went 20 minutes about rambling about other stuff other than She-Hulk. Yay! so we're gonna get to the main event, and that's She-Hulk episode 7. Another great episode that I love so much. It was, the show. I can't say nothing good. I can't say nothing bad about the show. The show is perfect.
Is this opposite day? I feel
Because
like we should do opposite day.
he's
No, it's not opposite day. Like I feel the light right now.
I
I
feel
see
like
the
this
light.
episode was actually, to me, genuinely funny this time.
Oh, in that
Ooh.
case, since
Was
Rachel
it?
missed us last week,
I was about to
the
say, yeah,
floor
you
is
had
yours.
yeah.
You can.
Tell us about the last like 3 episodes for you.
Yeah.
Well, with this episode, like I'm not saying it's like amazing, but like compared to the other episodes, I feel like this one actually made me chuckle at times. Like it was actually pretty, like it was kind of funny. Just like the whole, the Abomination guy just being like now this basically therapist on his land and keep like having therapy with all these other like powered people, whatever. Like that in itself is just a funny idea, like super anger guy now like being a therapist to people. And then it's just funny like to see her basically like going through the thing that like so many people go through where it's like, oh, why is he not texting me? I want to text him back. No, he's not texting, and just staring at the phone constantly. Like everyone's gone through that. I just thought that was funny to watch her go through.
Mhm.
And then I just think it's also like a funny thing in the sense that like Marvel once again giving us a show where we have like therapy time and like let's talk about our feelings on our show and give basically viewers a piece of therapy because we know you can't afford it. I don't know. I just thought it was like more. It didn't like again. This show is not supposed to be serious. So like everyone's saying like, oh, it's just boring. I'm like, that's just because you're expecting like all this special shit and action supposed to happen when that's not what this show is. I don't know. I just found it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I just think that it gears towards like what you were saying. It's like those funny parts of it that are like supposed to pertain to like our normal day lives or stuff that's relatable to like what we've gone through or people that we know have gone through. And it's like, yeah, they pick this guy that she just met at a wedding, who knows somebody, or if you had that situation where you met somebody at a wedding or something like that, and you guys are hitting it off pretty well, and then one thing leads to another, and then honestly he got the goods, and then it was like, oh well, now he's
And
like,
her blood because we saw it coming.
yeah, well, like, and then it was like almost like the shady dip, because then it was like all of a sudden like he was hitting her up every day, like, oh, let's go do this, let's do that, and as soon as that happened, it was like ghost.
As soon as he
Like,
clapped them cheeks, he was out.
that was it, and that's why I was like, oh, this is a trip right now, because it's like it made you think that like that's all that he wanted the entire time.
At least we know now, like maybe he was kind of a douche, but also he's a douche because he wanted just her blood because he was a weirdo at the wedding asking weird questions like,
Yeah.
"Are you impenetrable?"
It was a double
Yeah.
because it was like the all he wanted her for was to get her blood, and that to me was like kind of like a given. I kind of figured it out when they were like hitting it off. I was like, I feel like he's a part of that organization that's that's going to take her blood because he's going to get her in a vulnerable state, which is not as She-Hulk. So that part of it, I was like, but I thought it was kind of interesting. The whole, first of all, I don't know how Abomination all of a sudden has got like this big huge house like Tony Stark and like has this like all this land and mentoring people all of a sudden. Like I don't know.
Yeah, like 7 wives.
Well,
Yeah,
I feel like before when he was working for the government and shit, I'm sure he got like
You got some money?
decent money saved up somewhere, even though he wasn't like
He was locked up.
prison. But like,
I was
and
like,
he also probably got a payout and shit from like his legal thing of like whatever. I don't know.
yo, he was a
Like,
menace.
don't
He
ask
was,
questions.
like,
He's got the money.
destroying shit.
Yeah, he just got
Yo,
bread.
this
He
is
got land.
nothing. He was everything that he had was supposed to be taken away from him.
Yeah.
He completely went psycho.
I guess not.
Now, I just
Well,
want
that
to
brings
say.
me to an interesting point. Like, I understand, like, are like, hey, we got the jokes. Hey, it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be serious. But I can only go back to this. The name of the show is called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. So, like, regardless of what, like, yeah, it's not supposed to be taken serious. Nah, it's not supposed to be taken funny. But it's called Attorney at Law. And the best law stuff I've been seeing is coming from the side characters,
Yeah.
not the main character. But it's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. So, like, you can say it's not supposed to be taken seriously. You could say it's not, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, like,
it's not going by the title.
Well,
It's
I see
not
your
going
point.
by
what I'm saying? Like, it's making sense. It's like I go to watch Law and Order, and it turns into, I don't know, like one of the Netflix
Happy
series
Hour.
shows.
Happy
Yeah,
Hour.
like Happy Hour. I'm just like, what's going on? I thought this was Law and Order. It's supposed to be Law and then the Order. No, I'm getting She-Hulk.
I agree that there
everyday
should be
life.
more of like the lawyer laws aspect of it, but I just don't think they would like take it as like a serious law show like Suits or
I
Law
mean,
and Order.
not the serious
even-
law
no,
show,
even-
but like
Yeah,
there's at
even if
least
they
a
were
little bit
doing
of like.
joke stuff. Yeah, even if they were doing joke stuff, base it around the attorney at law stuff.
Yeah.
But
Just like
we've been
she
in the
did, just like they
courtroom
did in the
all
last
month.
episode.
Do you think they're like already thinking and planning on a season 2 where they'll then get into more of her being a full-on lawyer after she like fully accepts her shit, like in this season, that like the next season will be her fully digging in after she talks to like Daredevil Matt and like digs into doing more like involved with the law stuff?
So you think maybe Daredevil's like her turning point where she's like, oh, I can do both. I can
be a lawyer now if I see another
Okay.
superhero doing this.
Well, I think like
Oh yeah,
she's already a lawyer, so like she knows how to be a lawyer. But I feel like this, if they're gonna plan for a second season,
Mhm.
regardless of how ratings are or whatever, then like I think this season was just kind of like setting her up in a way of like her accepting herself and going through normal day things now that she's She-Hulk and having her adjust to that and blah 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 blah. Like I'm just wondering if like that's how they're setting it up so that like once she realizes no, I can help people more through She-Hulk because I fully accept this now and my lawyer, I don't have to like try and mush it in weird ways. Like I could do this in certain ways after she talks to Matt and realizes it or something. Then I wonder if that's what they're gonna do like moving forward. But like it's really weird how like to start her off in this show, if this is the only season we're getting, it's kind of crap. Like in terms of like not showing the lawyer aspect side of it.
No,
It's like
It
this.
is booty juice.
Disney is better than this. Marvel is better than this. Like when we talk about good storyline, we talk about character development. They've shown that they can have actual character development. When you talk about the movies that they made from these, Marvel heroes that to this day were like, yo, this is the dopest like brought to life stuff that we've seen. To do this for She-Hulk, where it doesn't really make sense as far as what Eric is saying in the sense of that it's called attorney at law, then let's gear the show in a sense around the attorney at law spot. Where yes, you can keep the humors and keep all the other things that they show in the episodes, but you got this whole episode where the side character is handling this case where it's like this guy is immortal and he's like dating all these, men and women. It's like she should have been handling that case. Like I would have rather seen her handle that case in her She-Hulk form the way that she did, and her
Instead,
figuring out how
we just got
to.
a shitty wedding fight.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if she was the one that's like, and even in a sense where I keep going back to the fact that like she had never handled superhero cases before. So her in this, it would have been smarter to say how she figures out how to handle these cases because she's never done that before.
I don't know how she does it in the comics because I haven't honestly read any of her comics. I just know of like seeing things of like tone and like whatever. But yeah, I don't know how she does in the comics and how she balances it and what exactly her like style to law is. Because she's obviously not like Daredevil, where the things that he does to balance it out. Yeah, I just think it'd be more interesting to show because it also could show more of like I know you want to build her up as her character so we actually feel for her and stuff, but then like I still think it'd be cool to see how in the Marvel like the MCU like quote real world how like again with like that invincible guy then that shape shifting chick like how these ability super people are like actually affecting day-to-day life and how that like gets messy when it comes to laws. Like, I think continuing that would be more interesting than just like stupid shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're making it too personal where it's like I want the audience to relate to her so much that they're laughing at the fact that, oh, I've been through that before. Where it's like, yo, it would be so much more interesting, like you just said, if they had it in the sense of how does she handle these, superhumans or super beings on the eternity side of it and like what happens outside of it, right? So it's
Shit,
like,
she reminded me of myself when I was younger. When I, got in with a girl, I kept blowing open her phone right there. I was like, oh shit, that was me back in the day, be clingy as fuck. I can see why the girls didn't want to talk to me after that right there. So that was one part she reminded me of. My idiot self.
I think everybody's had that moment where they texted or they were messaging somebody way too much
Yeah, oh yeah,
where they should have been on more so the chill side. But that's
that
what I'm saying.
was.
It's like relatable, but
I think she had one maybe relatable moment when she was. I felt she was vulnerable for the first time. When Jen's a good person too. People don't like me as She-Hulk, which we've been saying that shit for like the past like couple weeks. Which in that therapy section, which Bob, I'm like, did she not ask the guy the whole entire time? Why were you after me? Why were you after my blood? Like, why were you attacking me? Please tell me why. Like, why was that not brought up the whole entire time? Like, so we're gonna sit here and just show like you and act like you didn't attack me. I want some questions, bitch. Like, what the fuck are you doing me? Like, no, Abomination. I understand you're a good guy right now, but like, yo, this guy trying to hurt me. I need some answers. Like, fuck all this nonsense shit right now. We get into nonsense shit later. Right now, I want to find some fucking answers. But no, we didn't get that shit. It was real
you
some like,
did. She threw him into the chairs.
Well, no, like she didn't ask like why they were trying to take her blood.
wait. Here's the thing, though. I don't think at the time
She
she
knew.
knew they were taking the blood. They just attacked
She
her.
did because they had the needle and it broke, and she
Okay,
looked at it and turned.
Never
So
mind. Yes, okay, then yeah,
yeah, she
like,
looked and turned
okay,
at the bull like,
yeah,
oh, I
you're
couldn't
right.
do it
You're right.
because it
You're
was
right. But
bent.
yeah, I want answers from that though. Like, why were you attacking me right there? That I feel like that should have been answered right there. And be like, yo, who are you working for? Like
Yeah, but
That's
then
what
it's
I thought was
that should
going
have
to
been brought
happen.
up. No, I knew it was gonna. I knew
But
that was gonna happen because how this show is. The show's inconsistent of how it follows the story. It's like we're gonna ignore this thing. Wait 5 episodes later to explain it again. Pause the thing. Wait another 5 episodes to talk about it later. Like it's too inconsistent with the show.
yeah,
And
and the
it's like
crazy,
I found Jesus. We threw away all those weapons that we had, and yeah, now we good.
like you try to take my blood. I want
and the crazy
answers.
thing is the episodes are about 20 minutes. So it's just like you can't do a whole bunch in those 20 minutes. And I don't understand what Marvel is doing where they have these shows where it says 35 minutes, but by the time you're done, it's 20 minutes and then 10 minutes of
Credits.
credits.
We want you to see the cool graphics at the end.
And that's
Important.
fine. But then make the
That's
show
cool.
50, then make an episode 50 minutes. So I can at least get a healthy amount of storytelling, you know, character development, and then by the time you hit that 40-minute mark, you have a full episode, and you can still do 10 minutes of your credits, and you can still do everything you want to do. Or
It just was not executed well because yes, the graphics at the end is cool because they do show like what happens after that ending scene, right? They show like some extra clips or in an illustration kind of form where it's like if we got more out of the episode and it was like a beginning, middle, and end, and we're like, oh, that was a good episode. Those extra credits at the end would make more sense, and we'd be like, oh, that's a nice little touch on that
Yep.
the end of this episode.
Mhm.
But it just looks like they just wasted time.
Yeah, I was like, prime example. You said that before. I was like, the prime example is like if you ever watched The Mandalorian. If you ever watched The Mandalorian, it's a full episode. It plays out well. It has a, like you said, a beginning, a middle, and end. And then they have those like the watercolor illustrations at the end. And I do sit there and watch that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Mandalorian is by far like Disney Plus's best show they've
Agreed.
ever produced. So
Yeah, I would agree.
And like that, in less than 30 minutes, you pretty much talk about the whole episode right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Well,
think it's a shame because, like we're saying, like with wanting more lawyer stuff, and then, like I've said in previous episodes, like there's just such small tweaks and small things that they could do to make it better that like isn't rewriting the whole show. And like smart writers with any other show, usually like whether it's a I don't know, whatever it's a court case or if it's a villain of the week or it's whatever the issue is of that week, they always find a way to like make it relate to whatever the character's going through at their time in their personal life. Like it either mirrors each other or like it causes something to happen in their personal life where it reflects stuff. And that's where you could get the personal stuff. Like we don't need to dedicate whole episodes to just her personal life. Like there's smarter ways to write things while still keeping it funny and then having the balance. But I don't know.
exactly.
I don't know
I feel
I don't know
like
who's making the
they should
decisions.
do. Yeah, I feel like they should done like a. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little older, but if you ever watch Ally McBeal, so if you ever watch Ally McBeal, she was a lawyer, but she had the comedy in it as well, and like the stuff affected her life as she grew as a person and being a lawyer. So I was just like, all you have to do is take the same concept, right? You take this Ally McBeal concept and you put it in a superhero form with She-Hulk. Because honestly, She-Hulk is not my strongest comic book that I've ever read. I mean, it's millions of comic books I haven't read, believe it or not. But
Well, yeah, there's a lot of
um,
comics out there. It's hard to read like
yeah,
every single
it's
one.
so hard to keep up with comic books, and you got other stuff you need to do being an adult. But She-Hulk was low on my totem pole. I was more of a Wonder Woman dude, myself. But She-Hulk, if I remember correctly, did not transform. She never went back to being Jen Walters. She was She-Hulk 100% of the time, if I'm correct, on the comic books I've read. But you gotta remember, this is like when I was 8. Um, so like the stuff she went through was people accepting her as She-Hulk, right? So like here you have a duality system that I don't think they're really doing properly, where it's just like I'm Jim Walters and I'm She-Hulk. And I think this episode addressed a little bit of it,
Yeah,
but
that's the
they
only thing
could
I like
have.
about this episode. Only thing I really like
Yeah,
about this
but
episode.
Rachel said it better. They could have done this in a way that we can still get all that stuff and still have storytelling.
Oh yeah,
So it's like if you ever watch, I mean, I keep going back to it, but if you ever watch Daredevil, where the stuff he did affected the stuff he did as a lawyer, like he
Mhm.
captured Daredevil and then he became Daredevil's, I mean, he captured Punisher, sorry, and he became Punisher's lawyer. You know what I mean? Like he was working through the whole system in a complete circle and all the stories connected to him being a lawyer and him being Daredevil. So it's possible to be done. I just think this is sloppy writing. Like Rachel said, they're good writers that will write that into the narrative. And I think this was just a big miss on Marvel's part because they could have done this so great. It should have been so far better than what it is
do
because
you
like they have the money and talent. Sorry.
so now because you're like, do you think they like listen to the fans at all? Because like, I'm not saying fans like always say the right things, but I feel still it's like it's to the point where it's like, man, F what the fans say. We know what works, know what's good. But like, no, you don't. But clearly, something's missing. Something's wrong with the round we guys have been doing. Like we said this before, like Phase 4 has been, it's been going. It's like a roller coaster ride. Phase 4, like there's some good things and there's some things I'm like, yo, what the hell are we going through right now?
Mhm.
Like I'm
I
not
think
saying
it's cut. Sorry. I was talking about this with my friend the other day. I think it's this thing where like it's been happening with female-led movies for years, where it's like just crappy writing with female-led shit because they're just like they just basically go to the point of like, look, it's a female lead. You should just applaud just for that fact and not,
Mhm.
criticize it on anything else because
oh yeah,
look,
we did text
female
about that.
character. Um, and and then I think they just put tropes in and stuff all the time. But like with this show, I feel like, and maybe Miss Marvel too, without getting to Miss Marvel, but like I think they rely too heavily on like let's just get funny bits, let's just hit these women points, which is like fine, but then it's like they let the rest of the story drop because they're just looking for like these little bite-sized like moments without writing it out as like a connecting full story. I feel like it's basically I feel like they're writing shows now for like TikTok clips where it's like they just want like something to get highlighted as a cool clip or like a little like section clip to be like the highlights, and then it's like, oh, but like I guess here's the rest of the show.
Well, look,
Like
to your
they
point,
don't know how to
Rachel.
like make it like a full thing. It's just like
Well,
bits.
Rachel, you brought up a good point because you see, I don't think it's necessarily clips, but you see a lot of people on TikTok and Reels talking about shit, whether it's good or bad. Like, there's honestly, I see more people talking about that on TikTok than I see on YouTube. Like, that's the highlight show, or the TikToks and Reels that everyone's been talking about this show. That's really the
Yeah.
sad part.
And the problem is, like Rachel said, they want these clips, and I think they're doing a disservice to the women that are leading these roles. Because, like, if you look back, there's a lot of female-led stuff that's amazing, right? Like, I think I talked about some of them, and like you got somebody like Ellen Ripley, who's
Mhm.
icon, right? Icon, undeniable. You got like Sarah Connor. You got like these characters that are amazing characters, and they're women, and they're the leads of their own movies, right? So it's just like then you have, what I mean? Like somebody did a comparison, right? They were like, look at these women we had back then. It was Ellen Ripley and it was Sarah Connor. And then next to that picture was a picture of She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. And it was like, we're doing a disservice to women now because of, you might be right. You might hit the point where it's just social media. Everybody wants those little quick bites that they can digest, and they don't want to pay attention to most of the other stuff. But then when they have to look at the other stuff, like say a full show or a full movie, they're like, "Oh, we had to make a whole movie out of that? No, we just wanted to focus on Megan Thee Stallion Turkin with She-Hulk." And that's like, how many times have you seen that on social media?
Well, I think it's just a thing too of like it bothers me with the communities of like whatever now with Marvel, but like other things with female led stuff, or like
Rings of
people
power.
of or people of color or LGBTQ stuff, because it's like I feel like the communities are so desperate for representation that like anytime now a studio is like, here, we'll give you some, and they like eat it up and they're like, oh my god, praise it, yes, thank you, awesome, amazing, there's nothing wrong with it. If you criticize it, you're a homophobe, racist, whatever. And it's like, no, like why are you settling for shitty writing when you want good representation? Like shouldn't you be like saying, no, this isn't good enough, raise the bar higher, like I don't want this shit, like give me something that's an actually good representation of whatever community it is. Like, I don't want garbage. Like, stop
But you know what
praising
that
them
is?
for bare minimum. Like, stop praising these studios and like stop it.
That's why it's
You know what
it's to
that
the point where
is?
it's like we're Disney. We can show whatever you want. You're gonna accept it anyway.
Well, I think what it is that, back in the day, what they used to do is they used to give people what they wanted, right? That I'm gonna give you what you want, and then they get lazy on the writing, or they get lazy on production, or they get lazy on something on the set, and then to be like, well, that's why we don't make it, because these people were in it and it didn't make money, and then that's their excuse for not making more of that. So it's like in this culture, that's what people want, representation, and then they can put out and be like, well, we made this thing, like for example, Rings of Power, which they used $1 billion to make. And they
lot.
and they put out this thing that's just like it's already getting backlash because it's not like they took the history of Tolkien and just like destroyed it. And me as a Tolkien fan, I'm just like, I mean, it's whatever as long as they do good with it. So once I saw like just the sheer amount of garbage they put out, and then like Amazon can cry this later. It's like, oh, we tried for diversity and we tried for female led projects, but then we have all this backlash. And now we're not going to do it because that's not what the fans want. But like you said, like get better writing. I mean, the production, I think they spent like 700, it was like $60 million per episode on there. So that's, yeah. But it's just like, but they didn't put the quality into the writing. And the crazy thing is they took stuff from the Silmarillion. And I was just like, all you have to do is what Peter Jackson did. You take what was there and you put it on the screen. And then just like you wanted to put the diverse characters in there, and that's fine. But have it the same way as it was in the book. And then if it's good, people can't say anything about it then. Look at what's the other show? House of Dragons. It's doing amazing. People love it. It has a diverse cast. It has a female lead. But, it's not getting destroyed like She-Hulk is getting destroyed. It's not getting destroyed like Rings of Power is getting destroyed. Why?
It's so
What's the
good.
difference there? Exactly.
I don't know. Like
Well,
writing.
But yeah, it's horrible because Disney has the shorties are better than the She-Hulk TV show. Like the shorties that they have on Disney Plus are better than this 20-minute show.
Yeah, like the I Am Groot one they just put out was amazing.
I gotta watch that.
It's horrible because we had like this whole episode where this magnificent like designer like made these outfits for She-Hulk. And it's like, what has come out of this? Like, I was so amped up, like, yo, what, he's about to make some fire. And then it was like she never like came out like did like a runway like kind of introduction of her new outfit or nothing.
Like you forget about these new people that were introduced to you. It's like that episode never happened.
But
because of course they're gonna hold it out, like just like teasing Daredevil and Matt showing up. It's literally gonna be like the last like 5 minutes of the finale, and they'd be like, "Oh look, ta-da!"
I told people not to hold up on it. Like just because we saw that helmet or whatever, we're not gonna see him in the next episode or the next. We probably won't see him in the next episode. Like I'm not surprised. I'm not even mad.
Much about Daredevil being in the show, and it was just like, oh yeah, he's not here until episode 9. So, and it doesn't make sense. Like you said, like I was ready for her to would be wearing the outfit at the wedding, actually. You know what I mean? Because she was like, we're going to get you some clothes that fit. Yeah. And they made 2 suits, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe it was 2.
Made like a superhero suit and another suit. So she didn't wear either yet. And I was just like,
yeah, she's.
And I was like, what's the point? Are you trying to copy like kind of what they did with Marvel and Daredevil, where the Daredevil stuff made sense? This doesn't make any sense.
Wes made
supposed
sense.
To have a work outfit that she goes to work in that she can transition from being Jennifer Walters to She-Hulk, and it's like she has been to work. Like she was texting under the desk as she's in an important meeting as a lawyer, because this guy is dipping on her, and it's like it's so unprofessional, and it's like it's funny, but then it's like what? But then they're just like, is that the outfit? Is that one of the outfits that he made for her? Like, not saying like I'm
still wearing it.
Like, oh, why did we get this moment? But it's like, how do you have an episode of this buildup of this like magnificent guy that's just like, all about his work and his, we're gonna need extra fabric kind of thing. Like this, like, you got to come here. This is like special. This outfit, these outfits are, made one of a kind. And it's like you have these last 2 episodes, and you haven't seen any of them. Like I said, I expected like an intro, like this, like these dancing lights, like and they're like
too much,
like strutting, and it was like there was nothing, like
honestly. you can't expect anything from the show at this point. Just be like, go into just be like, okay, let's just watch this next episode. What I'm gonna say right now, there's
Like,
nothing for me to expect.
like it would have
There's
been
no hype there.
hilarious with
What?
her like fourth wall thing too. It would have been hilarious too if like they were doing like the typical, teen movie, dressing room catwalk type deal. But she would have been like, she could have been like, is this cliche? Yes. But is it so much fun? Also, yes. And then they go and do it anyway, and it's like they do funny shit with it. Like that would have been hilarious.
They need to put us on the writing team. We need some writing credits.
Yo, watch the last episode be like an hour. The last episode be like it's gonna be 50 minutes. We're gonna bring back everybody on the last episode. That's what they're gonna do. All the characters that you love in the past episodes will all be back in the final episode.
Yo, it's just like, yeah, like we got like these thoughts about like what they could have did with the show. Like how, like I keep going back to this because I thought it was like this show started strong with the way it came in.
I said it.
And like you were saying, like the woman like empowerment and at the forefront kind of thing. And like even if like, they're trying to kind of pinpoint things that are happening like right now because they had the Ruth Bader Ginsburg kind of like statue and stuff behind it. If they would have had like even like little small touches of like maybe people like protesting, like saying like, about the stuff that's going on right now with whatever it is, abortion or anything like that. Like her going and snapping a sign or something, or
yeah, but if you did that too directly, I feel like then it's too obvious of like what everyone complained about in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it was like, why does everything need to be super obvious political? It's like, yeah, they can be political, but I think doing it too in your face is going to be too off-putting. Like you have to like not sneak it in, but you have to like be more. I don't know.
discreet.
Yeah, but like more not metaphorical, but like when like obviously there's a part of a story, but, like it could reflect and like it's obviously they're reflecting this though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's easier for people to digest it when you do it that way versus like straight up in your face. I think that would have been a little even like on my end, like obviously from my point of view, like I think that would have been a little too much. I would have been like, like that's cringy, like that's
okay. I get that. That would have been
so like
yeah. I just think something that's a little bit current. Like I just think that like
no, I know, yeah.
I would have wanted to see a more strong.
It needed to be subliminal, right? Like it was back in the day in like 90s rap, right? They would have lyrics where they would straight diss other rappers, but it would be subliminal in their lyrics that you would have to figure it out later on.
Yeah.
And that's why like, people like to break down lyrics of the 90s rappers compared to rappers nowadays. But I think that's what you mean, like have it subliminal in there where it's just like, oh, I didn't even know that. And that's how you get different views of going back and watching something. That's why I watch stuff as I get older because I have a different view of it when I do.
Yeah.
So like the way I watched Alien is not the way I watched Alien when I was a kid. I was just explaining it to my wife. I was just like, yo, Alien blew my mind and it got me into sci-fi. But I watch Alien now and it's more reminiscent. So I got something different each time I watch it. Because there's always something there for me to grasp and understand. And that's what they should have did with the show. Basically have it where it's like it has all this different stuff that you pull as you grow as a person, So, I mean, all the good stuff does that.
That does.
It's her missed opportunity too, because like they tried to touch on it, but like she's only been in like 1.5 episodes. Again, what's her face? The influencer chick.
Titania.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really use it. Yeah, like, that's great.
No, but like, so she wasn't really supposed to be like a main villain, but like, they're making like the show like doesn't know what it wants to say because it's like women stuff mixed with like making fun of outright, the guy haters on the internet making fun of her show, hating on her show. Then directly calling out, little things like, oh, this will give me like Twitter armor for the week and like making quippy things like that. And then stuff with her being like the influencer. It's like, how about you like go more into that though? Like make a somewhat commentary of like how ridiculous the whole influencer thing is and how it affects the real world with like stupid shit.
Yeah, they didn't really touch on that because we knew what she was going to be. We knew what she was going to be jealous about, but yeah, they didn't really go full depth into that. So, see, I forgot about it. Like, I forget about a lot of this shit on the show because the show's like forgettable to me.
Because then you could have went to a whole commentary too of again like the guy haters of the show and like whatever, which was kind of funny when she was like calling them out and shit. Um,
Yeah.
but like it would have been funny too if like basically they had to like the whole influencer thing. They're like, man, they're like bashing you online, like all these apps, like they're talking shit about you, blah blah. Blah. She's making you look horrible, and then like she basically had to learn how to like become favorable on social media and like turn her like image around and like basically get a view of like how toxic social media culture is and like the whole shit like that because it's like you can't enjoy this show because of social media because everyone's shitting on it and being horrible. You
I
have
touched base on it last week.
yeah, okay, well but like there's things that they could have totally commented more on about it and worked it into the show that I feel like would have been more creative and interesting since something we haven't really like totally seen them talk about, especially with the fourth wall breaks. Like it's easier to make those connections because you could directly talk to people. So it's like I don't know.
And just saying all this, it's like I don't know see how this show gets to season 2. But then again, man, I mean Miss Marvel got season 2, so I mean anything's possible at this point. But who
Wait,
doesn't want to
Marvel
see
got
it?
season 2?
I think it's been confirmed that they're gonna do a season 2.
I know she was going to be on the Marvels movie.
Yeah, that's
I
the
didn't know
rumor
she
at
got a second
least.
season.
And
Okay.
if see in the Marvels movie, it's like I don't even know. I'm not excited for that one either because I mean these female led projects in Marvel have not been great. Like I'm gonna look at your history. If your history is not good, I'm just gonna like. I mean, I'm gonna obviously watch it, but it's like I'm gonna have my concerns about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I mean, we got
Missed
2
that.
episodes left. I don't know what they can do. I mean, these 2 episodes can be great. They can be the ballpark right there. But I'm gonna look at the episodes, other episodes, and be like, okay, these episodes are good, but it's like, why wait until these last episodes for it to be good? Whereas they had like uh 7 episodes to be great. So
I felt
I
like
don't
that's
know.
how the Boba Fett show was for me. Whereas, like, I watched the whole series, but those last 3 episodes were amazing. Namely, because they had the Mandalorian in it. But
Like I said, consistency. That's what I want. Consistency. I'm not saying that every episode has to be great, but it's like you start off great, then you went down, 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 down. And
yeah,
no,
like my stock prices.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And look, here's the thing. Even when you see Daredevil, don't be like, "Oh my god, he's gonna do this shit." Nah, I'll be there for like maybe 5 minutes and I'm out. He's not gonna be there for that long.
You know what?
Like,
I hope it's 5 minutes and he's out because I don't need them ruining one of my favorite characters. You
well,
know,
they're gonna ruin
Well,
them, all right. They're gonna ruin them. You're gonna be like,
Damn, damn, damn!
that's gonna be your
all
reaction
day.
when you
The, the
That's
funny
gonna be-
thing about seeing dudes get so mad about like, man, they're gonna ruin Daredevil because they're gonna make him too jokey and too fun and blah blah blah. I'm like, did you watch? Okay, yeah, like the Netflix series was more like graphically violent and stuff, but like he was still making quips. He was still a smartass, and like in the comics, he makes jokes all the time. Like there's comic series where he's literally hanging out with Spider-Man all the time, making jokes. Like not like a jokey like, but like he's making funny quips and jokes, and like being
Yeah,
a
it's like
smartass.
a dry humor.
Yeah,
So
like literally showing up dressed with a shirt that says "I'm Daredevil," or "I'm not Daredevil," whatever the shirt was.
the only thing I'm afraid of is like I understand like I'm a Daredevil diehard like everything right. I understand like they're using the yellow suit from when Daredevil first debuted, but I feel like they're using the yellow suit because they're going to soften him. And when I think of terms of them messing up Daredevil, I mean Daredevil Born Again. Like the route that these shows are taking, each and every one and on Disney Plus hasn't been great. It's been like two passable ones, one great one, maybe. You know what I mean? And then like, are you going to reduce Daredevil to 8 episodes, 30-minute episodes. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean by
Didn't they
ruining
already
Daredevil.
announce that he's having like a full, like an old full season length show? Like not these half seasons. Like didn't they announce he's having a full?
Maybe I'm not sure. If he does, then you can put my heart at ease.
They could
And
they could probably reboost this whole thing with the Daredevil show.
I
They
have a
might.
I wonder too, since they did say that the Netflix shows are canon now, like officially. I wonder if like the term like reborn. I wonder if that's gonna be they're gonna plan the fact of like because we already saw him go through his arc in like the original show of like him going
Born
through
Again.
all the shit that he went through again, but that losing his religion and being angsty and, and then coming back and whatever. And like I wonder if this is gonna be like revolving around maybe the blip, like maybe people he knew and cared about, like Foggy or Karen or whatever, like maybe he experienced those people getting blipped, or he himself got blipped. You don't know. Maybe that explains why he wasn't around this whole time during the MCU or this
Mhm.
this recent stretch of time. And then he comes back, and then he has a whole new different like perspective on shit because of the blip and what happened. And then he has like a different, not lighter tone, but I mean like maybe like the dark millennial humor of like, haha, I'm gonna die, fuck it. like just a lighter, like I don't give a fuck tone because the world could just end at any moment and like whatever.
Well, I'm not saying it has to be like the dark. Like, I mean, there was a comic book where Daredevil was throwing babies off roofs, so I don't need it to be that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I don't need to be that. Like, I understand. Like, it's still going to be a change, and like you were mentioning, they're calling it Born Again, which was the storyline they used for the 3rd season of Daredevil. So I was just like, you're calling this Born Again? Is this going to be like a soft reboot? Because that's what it sounds like.
Is
It
it
sounds like
reborn or born again?
it's Born Again
But again,
because that was the name of the comic book series that they're supposed to be
Yeah.
basing this off of. And I was just like, well, Born Again you did in season 3, where like Kingpin officially learns who he is and tries to rip his life apart, basically. And I was just like, they did it so well in season 3. Why are you naming it Born Again? And are you going to be retreading water that Netflix already did so well? So
you know, I don't want to change the topic, but this just reminds me. Did you just hear about I can't forget his name. The guy that's playing Blade, like fears with the
Marshall
director.
Ali.
Yeah, direct. His fears with the director right now. That's
Yeah,
not
so
that's not looking good right now. Right now either. That is a concern
he's
for me.
he's not liking the production that's going on the set, and I think they said they were bringing somebody in to do some script doctoring, like piecing together a better script because he's being frustrated. And Marshall Ali is a great actor, so I was really looking forward to his rendition of Blade. And if it's having the issues that they're saying, I'm gonna be sad for that one.
hmm I think we're concerned for a lot of the new things now. One that they cannot fuck up. I think we can all agree is that they can't fuck up anything, but like one movie that they cannot fuck up is
Wakanda
Wakanda
Forever.
Forever. If
Yeah.
they fuck that movie up, people are gonna still watch Marvel, but it's gonna be like you're gonna upset a lot of fans right
I think
there.
that's the one movie they probably put like so much actual effort in though, because like they know how much it's gonna mean to
Yes.
everybody. Um, so I feel like that they probably really took the actual time and effort to do it right.
I feel like
Unlike
they
this
went
other
all out.
shit where it's just like hit these timelines, let's go, let's hit these things. It's just like
Yeah,
half-assed.
They're taking
Like
their own sweet time for this shit.
yeah.
When they
It's
really
been
want
it's
to
been
fuck
a
it up.
while since Wakanda. I mean Black Panther. So
2018. Yeah.
2018.
So I believe in Ryan Coogler. So I think he's
Yes,
a great director and a great writer,
absolutely.
and I feel in his hands that is respected, and it'll be okay. I'm just interested to see what they do because I love Namor and I love Namor when they do anything with Wakanda. Like I loved when he flooded Wakanda and like was killing people. Oh my god,
Yeah,
such a great comic.
and he's a
And
mutant.
like, and I was, yeah, he's a mutant in this, so I guess there's that. Whatever. But like I'm looking forward to. I mean, I guess like you know what, you got Deadpool, you got Wolverine, you got
Uh,
Namor.
let's get into that then. Yeah, I mean Deadpool, Wolverine right now.
Yeah,
We saw what Ryan Reynolds said. And the fact, I mean, the fact they have Hugh Jackman coming back to play Wolverine, like I said, it's over 20 years now.
20. It's gonna be probably like 24 years when he comes back. So
That Disney contract must have been really nice. That Disney
I
must have been
mean,
really nice. But like,
Disney, they got that deal. But
welcome
they
out of
did
retirement.
surface an interview where he said if X-Men goes back in the hands of Marvel, he would come back and play
Wolverine.
Wolverine, and that was before he did Logan. So they kind of like put him on the spot. Was like, yeah, remember you said this, and he was just like, yeah, I did say that.
Man, they should recast that.
You know what? I feel like if he, because of the ownership he has over that character,
He's too
that's
old.
like, I mean, like Wolverine is gritty, bro. You know what I mean? Wolverine is gritty. He was always gritty in the comic book. He
I
didn't
got
look
I
young.
got
Yeah.
I got an actor that could play Wolverine that I think would do a better job, and he a good actor.
I mean,
Tom Hardy.
probably.
Tom Hardy.
Probably Tom Hardy is great,
Tom
but
Hardy.
after what I saw with Venom, I'm not.
No, that's a different character.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah,
Eh,
nah,
look, man, look.
nah,
You
nah,
No,
brought
nah.
it up. All right,
we're trying to
you
say like
said good
stocky
actor.
wise. We're talk about stocky wise, size, body wise, and like the
Mhm.
face. Tom Hardy would kill that role.
But here's the thing: when Hugh Jackman did the role, people didn't believe he looked like Wolverine. But now all the Wolverine stuff is modeled after him. He changed that character into what
Yep.
it is now today. So when Tom Hardy plays it, if he plays the old Wolverine, then it's not going to be the Wolverine that people know because you got to remember, like we just said, this dude been playing Wolverine for over 20 years. People who were born in 2000 only know him as Wolverine.
I
Yeah,
I mean,
can't. I
he's
just,
but
I
you
just don't
saw,
see another Wolverine.
but you saw from the sit down him and Ryan Reynolds like he's old, bro. Like he's scared. Like he lost his weight. Like he
Ugh,
I
looks
mean, like, come
old.
on,
He looks
from
come
old.
on,
He's
from
not.
X1 to X2, he put
No,
crazy amount
come
of weight
on,
on.
man, come
he
on,
don't
come
look
on,
If
like
Anthony.
He don't look like Wolverine from X-Men 1.
if he can do it, I'd rather have faith in him doing it than just recasting the
I
character.
just,
I would like to see that Deadpool and that Wolverine in at least one movie, and then after that
Oh yeah,
they can
you gonna
recast it.
get that.
you
Oh, you
think
gonna
that
get
that person wants
Exactly.
that
That's all
that pressure
I
though?
want one. You know what I mean? Like I got my 3 Spider-Man in one movie. Like I just want one movie with Wolverine and that Deadpool, just because of the jokes that Deadpool
It's
did so much
yes.
in
I think
his in the first
Oh
two
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
You know
No,
what I
that'd be
mean?
a
that's
cool
true.
way to introduce like have Hugh Jackman come back as like a different variant or like a different place and time of his of like a Wolverine, but then also use that movie to introduce like the actual next actor being like this MCU's Wolverine for
I
like
think they should do the little girl. They should do X-23
Ooh,
as
man.
the new Wolverine. The young actress that was on Logan, she was amazing. I don't see why not.
Sick.
Yeah.
Logan was the best one, bro.
Oh my God, Logan was amazing. And
Man,
I was like, it would be great if they still have her in the Deadpool movie and she moves forward
sure.
as the Wolverine in the next like iteration of Marvel stuff.
And
I
then
think
I'm
she was
also
amazing. I
yes.
think the story development in Logan was amazing. But between him and her, the 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 charisma between the two of them, the way they played off each other, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I was
Why
also here.
I just know that there's talks of like recasting like the whole X-Men.
Man,
Like
and the things with the X Men, it's like I like the actors that played the X Men characters, so it's like I was gonna get a new cast. Like I would not mind seeing them come back though. I know it's not gonna happen, but
who Holly Berry a Storm?
no. I'm talking
Professor
about
X already came back.
Who?
I'm not talking about Halle Berry. I'm
Professor
saying
X already came back.
X, Magneto, even their younger selves.
That Magneto, he's the bomb. Like in Professor X, they fit. I get that, but they're young, but they're also younger. But what I'm saying is like I think they're revamping because they need a younger generation to carry on, revamping like the X-Men. Now there was talk, and I was like not about it at first, but then I saw pictures and I was like, "Yo, that would be fire." But the what's her name that played Keelan the Bee playing Rogue,
Uh,
uh,
Kiki Palmer.
Kiki Palmer. People were saying that her like with the accent, all that. They said that like, and they actually have like pictures of her like
I
as like
saw.
Rogue, and it was like I was like, oh, that probably will be heat,
The little,
you
the
know?
little,
But
the little, the Little Mermaid
I'm gonna
Outrage
ask you.
Part 2.
I'm gonna ask you this because you got a little upset with me last week when I said they should recast T'Challa.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he got you
absolutely
there.
yes.
Huh?
Got you there.
Well, no, well, he died.
Well, like I mean, like all the more reason to recast that character. Like I said before, I was like, it's no disrespect to Chadwick Boseman. He was amazing. I loved him. I followed his entire career, man. Like I watched him from when he was at Howard to when he was doing movies, when he did Jackie Robinson, when he did James Brown, when he did Thurgood Marshall, even when he was just doing shows and nobody knew who Chadwick Boseman was.
Yeah,
I loved him and I loved his acting. I love what he stood for. But you probably just needed to recast T'Challa and just have a new T'Challa in a new movie.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
But I mean, you're talking about somebody that didn't die and played a character great for 20 years and wants to come back and play that character again.
I mean, honestly, like I don't really know how to like think of that as far as if they probably recast it now. Like, yeah, I think it's been quite some time. Um,
There's a
with-
lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility for that type of role, man. I don't know who would even want it.
Rachel, you about to break off?
Mute. She muted.
We can't even hear you.
She's
Yeah,
muted.
you
My
muted.
bad. Yeah, I gotta get going.
Goodbye, my friend. I shall see you next weekend.
Yes. You will have
Yes.
to actually try to hound me down and find me because I have no idea what I'm doing.
I will do that. I will harass you and everything.
When in doubt, just look outside. I'll be pie outside.
Yeah, come on. I got you. I got you.
You'll be around.
Goodbye,
All
my
right.
friend.
Yeah, right.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.
Well, speaking
Yeah,
of
I
next
don't know.
week,
Like,
not to cut you off, Andy. Speaking of next week, I don't know how we're gonna even do this next week because I'll be away. So I guess next time we get together is the
and I'll be away
finale.
too. I'll be in Nashville.
Well, that happened before when we went to DragCon. We just doubled up
Yeah,
on episodes because I mean we
yeah,
can
sure.
wait until I mean honestly we would probably have more to say if we did double episodes. So I'm fine with doing
Okay,
Yeah,
skipping Friday and going for the Friday after next.
but yeah,
do
but
that.
going back to like what we were saying, like with T'Challa, like yeah, now that it's time has gone by, if they recast it, like I probably wouldn't be as bothered by it as because I've been so attached with Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa.
It's something new.
The new person would just have to be so on point, to carry it forward. That I think it's just some heavy shoes to fill. Like, and I think a lot of people would be actually scared to play that role just because of. I think that Chadwick has become like every like black child around the world. He's become a hero. So when you put a different face to that, it's like, oh, they always can be replaced. And I don't know if that's like the narrative that they should actually apply. Now, I thought they should just do like more so how they always have him visually in the comics and just keep his mask on. And like he's just forever just Black Panther and he just shows up.
Can be sweaty
Well,
as hell. You gonna be sweaty as hell to that mask. Like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
well,
I need some air.
they can do like a deep fakes like they did for what was the guy that passed away for Fast and Furious?
Oh, Paul Walker.
Paul
Paul
Walker.
Walker. Where they
Yeah,
had like a
his
deep
brother.
fake where they had his brother who actually kind of looks like him,
Oh yeah,
and then they just
at
tweaked
the
his
end right
face.
there.
Yeah,
They could probably
that's
try
they
that.
got that technology now too, but I don't know how
We
much
do.
they put into that because they said they were going to start doing that where they were talking about they can have like people from the past like come back in the movies and it was going to be this trippy thing, you know, like these old actors from back in the day, like so.
Well, did you see what they did for Did you ever see Star Wars Rogue One?
Yeah,
The general guy, like that guy was dead, and the way they did his face, it was good structurally, but sometimes what happens with a lot of special effects is they don't get the eyes right, and their eyes look dead. And once
yeah,
people see that, they'll be like, "That doesn't look right,"
you know,
because
right?
it
Yeah,
doesn't have all the nuances of somebody's face. But like, I would have said that back then. But what they did with Thanos and Josh Borland's face, I mean, don't get me wrong, they put work into it, and I saw the work they put into it. Where I think it was a scene, it was the scene where he's about to kill Gamora, and he like cries, and they're like the detail they had to put into it, where he cries, and the cry goes into the crack in his face, and it was like that is precise detail down to
yeah.
the
There was, yeah,
The bone.
yeah and
yeah.
it was
They
just
had to
like
do that. They had to.
mhm,
He
yeah,
was so that's such an iconic villain, I think, and I think he
and
got a lot of favor from everybody that they had to do him right.
you don't know how happy I am to say Thanos, for you to say Thanos is an iconic villain. You making 10-year-old Eric was just like, yes,
And the thing, like
that's oh my god.
he's always been an iconic villain. I just feel as though like
In the comic
at
books.
in the comic, oh yeah, War of the Gems. That
Mhm.
like he was that guy. He was that guy, and I appreciate Marvel, bringing them to light. 'Cause I feel as though a lot of people don't know who he was. Because when I saw him in the end of the Avengers, I was freaking out. So I had a feeling like Thanos. I'm like, oh my god, my friend's like, who's Thanos? I'm like, and I'm like, he's about to fuck shit up.
I was like, you can't introduce Thanos and somebody not die. And
Yep.
then
And
and then in the first
death.
5 minutes he killed two people. I was like,
This
oh. And
yeah,
then body Thor and Hulk, as a matter of fact.
body
So yeah.
Hulk.
Right, you don't use any powers. Just hand to hand with his hand.
Hand in hand.
You made the Hulk not want to come out of his skin.
Exactly like that like
He's like,
you're like
I don't want the smoke. He was like, I don't want no problems.
yo, he said you
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, all right. You're the sorriest motherfucker in this motherfucker.
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. The Hulk. That's what Thanos said. The Hulk right there. That's what Thanos said. The Hulk right there.
Hulk said this. He said, remember what was the movie? Friday, matter of fact, when he was just like, "Oh, you want some too, old man?" He said, "No." Why you come over here messing with these people?
I remember that scene.
I appreciate Thanos so much. Now, Kang, I'm sure he's gonna do some work too. But man, I really want Doctor Doom. I want Doctor Doom be in more than one film. Did you bring Doctor Doom
Well,
in this?
They might.
you saw who they got playing Doctor Doom, right?
So it's legit now. It's legit that Superman's gonna be playing Doctor Doom.
Henry
He's a
Cavill's
good
supposed to be
actor,
playing
man.
Yes, Henry Cavill's supposed to be playing Doctor Doom.
That's
He's a
something
good
that's
actor.
new for him, right? Playing that type of role.
And I feel like he ain't
I mean,
gonna
he's
accept
been
the
a
role
villain
of just one
before.
go around, bro. I feel like he's not gonna do just one go around.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
can't
the
have
person
Doctor Doom
Henry
in one
Cavill is,
film.
he's like, he
No.
pours himself into a role. I mean, look what he did with The Witcher. You know what I mean? Like Witcher now is like known. That Netflix series put Witcher on the spot, and I feel like he's gonna do the same for Doctor Doom because I feel like they have never done Doctor Doom right. And for somebody that's as smart and as powerful and as great a villain as Doctor Doom, I feel like they picked somebody that will put effort into that role and put work into it. You know what I mean?
Like, okay, not to like as well on this topic. Not to like be too long about this, but like Eric, for you to be the like comic nerd, who do you think are like the most impactful Marvel villains out there? That like they're just three of the most impactful Marvel villains. 'Cause I feel as though
Um,
Doctor Doom's up there, Thanos, Magneto, like or you
so I
guys.
would say, I guess I can give you just mine. So I would say
Yeah,
Doctor Doom, Thanos because he's my favorite, and Galactus.
dang. I'm not mad at Galactus, but why not Magneto? 'Cause I thought Magneto was a I guess he's a popular villain, but like, do you see him as a
So
villain sometimes or like?
yeah, see, that's what the only thing about Magneto is. At one time, he actually led the X-Men, so he's not looked at as a villain sometimes. So like, and then like to some mutants, he's a hero, but his
It's,
point of view makes sense, right?
it's interesting. He's like
Um,
the Malcolm X.
Yeah,
yes, I was about to
Doctor
say
like remember
because
that
Stan
Doctor
Lee
Doctor.
actually wrote
Yeah.
the two characters to be like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King.
Yes. Yeah,
So
but
like he's like
you know,
these two characters are like that.
you know what? My sister told me about that years ago, and the fact that people are
Mhm.
just finding out about it now, it's like, yeah, man, like it related to a lot of people how people treat in America, like
Yeah.
the mutant, like we're the mutants. Us black people, we're the mutants, pretty much.
Oh yeah, that was the metaphor. That was the
Yeah,
metaphor
he's
was
the one that
mutants
hit back.
is
He
a
was the
form of
one that hit
racism.
back.
That's why
Yes.
they're my favorite superhero group of all time, or the
And
X
that's why
Men.
like I don't consider Magneto a villain. I mean he does villainous things, but like that's also why I didn't consider Michael B. Jordan's character in Black Panther as a villain either, right?
Yeah,
Because like
Killmonger.
his points are correct.
Like
Mhm.
in every black person, I don't your line they say no. In every black person, there is some Killmonger in all of us. I'm saying that to the day I die. We got some Killmonger views in all of us. And if you're saying no, I'm sorry. Not they say not to go to saying of killing people, but like you have part of you agrees with some of his views though. You have to.
Yeah. But that's the thing. His views were correct. It's not like he put any falsities out there, right? Like the stuff happened to him directly, and it was more personal, and he lashed out with anger. But the points he brought up were true. Like they lied, they purposely killed his father to cover up that lie, and the system that they put in place was sitting there to maintain the lie. And the dude even said it. He was like, "I had to maintain the lie." And that's where you come up with like, the T'Challa character was like, yeah, I just found this out. I had nothing to do with it, but I have to correct it, so it's on my shoulders. It was kind of a sins of the father type of thing, sins of the
Yeah.
forefathers. It gets put on you because you're their son, and that's what I mean. And that's why like the dynamic in Black Panther was so original, right? Because it was never a black man put in that position, right? You got all the power, you got all the know-how, and you got you pretty me had limitless power. And what did he do with it? 9 times out of well, usually 10 times out of 10,
Mhm.
a black male character does the wrong thing. But T'Challa did the right thing,
Yeah.
and the right thing is not always easy. And that's
Yeah. That's not. That's not.
not to be rambling on about Black
Preach,
Panther,
preach.
but
But
Yeah,
no, we
no,
rambled on about a lot of things right now. We're over an hour right now because we just get so depth for this stuff. Because, like I said, the show is so short. Like you gotta think of something, to follow up on it. But yeah, guys, we pretty much touched base on the whole entire
yeah,
episode. So like, I didn't blame Rachel for leaving right there. But now, that's it. We talked about everything that we want to talk about. Time I think we kind of wrap this up right here. But yeah, any last words you guys want to say before we head up out of here? Because like I said, by the way, folks, you'll see us in 2 weeks. Like I said, I'll be away at New York Comic Con. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. But we'll still talk about She-Hulk just in 2 weeks though.
you just rubbing it
mhm.
in.
You know
Hmm.
it. You know it. You know it. Because one of my
Just
favorite
make sure you
conventions,
go see
man.
that exhibit. I mean,
Yeah, I
see
have
the
to. I
picture.
have to. I need to rewatch that shit, man. Because that movie show. I think I watched the movie first before I watched the show when I was a kid.
Really?
I mean, I didn't know how things were at the time. I didn't know what order meant and shit like that. All I just know is my parents got me this video tape. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm like, oh my god, like it was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to our parents for that. I mean, and the case was so beautiful to look at too. I was like, oh my god, this is just gorgeous right now. Look at the
You talking about
cover of it.
Gargoyles?
Gargoyles, yeah, the movie. The
Yeah,
cape.
I think the movie was like the first like 3 episodes or something like that, right?
There's something along those lines.
Come
Yeah.
on, it was like the first 3 episodes, and then it came with like a board game in it.
Oh
It
my
was
god, the board
really
game! You
fun.
remind me about
So,
that.
yeah.
Oh man, yeah, we '90s in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm super early '90s.
Yeah.
I
They got the technology now, man. If they made a real life Gargoyles movie, it would be lit. Like based
You know
in New
what?
York
who will
City
be
too.
directing it? Who'll be directing it? That'll be my thing. Who's directing it?
Yo, if they made it like dark, that movie would be tough.
I gotta see who the director is.
You know, I wouldn't be against them doing like a whole like animated one either. Just like doing a whole
Exactly.
anime with
Yeah.
the same, because like you know how they doing X-Men, the animated series from the '90s with the same art style. I wouldn't be opposed to them doing that with Gargoyles either.
Nope. Nope. I wouldn't be touching that either. But I do think we had to do this towards the end of the year. Like towards the end of the year, we do have to get together again and talk about overall thoughts about Phase 4 before we get into the Phase 5, because after Black Panther, that's Wakanda Forever. That's it for Phase 4. So I feel as though probably sometime in December you guys get together and talk about overall thoughts of Phase 4 and what they can do to improve from this into Phase 5. I think that's a definite thing we got to do. Most definite. But no, everybody, I appreciate you guys for tuning into this thing. I said I know it's long, but I said we had to do something to make it for the show's shortness. So if you guys watch this on YouTube, be sure to give us a like, a comment, and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, be sure to like the video and share the video. And if you're watching this on Twitch, just give my Twitch a follow. I really do appreciate it. Not just me. I have everyone's social media down in the search box below. So I really do appreciate you get. I can't speak right today, guys. I'm like stuttering my words and shit like that. I appreciate if you guys give these guys a follow. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, folks, I think that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. I'm awake this time, thank God. But I guess I have things to do tonight before I get myself ready to go to a wedding tomorrow. So dippity doo dah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully the rain stops. I heard it's supposed to be stopping, in the afternoon, but you never know with the weather though. You never know.
Nope.
True.
You never know. So anyway, folks, as always, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into this right now. Like I said, in 2 weeks, you'll see us get together again and talk about, the final episodes of She-Hulk. So hopefully we'll be in a good mood to talk about these last episodes, or maybe we'll just be like, yeah, it's finally fucking over. Let's just get this shit over with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might be that way. It might be that way. I'm hoping not. It might be that way, but I'm hoping not though. I want to at least end this show with a bang, because I don't want to see She-Hulk done like this. I don't. I think she's a cool character, and just here like this. Nah, I'm just not fucking with it. So hey, folks, guys, like I said, just follow us, subscribe to us, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Y'all have a good night, and y'all be safe, and have a good weekend too.